Something that you hear a lot in academia, whenever people within academia try to do interesting, publicly engaging things, you often hear academics talk about how they're just attention whores. They just want to be famous, or they're egotistical or narcissistic, or whatever the case might be. It's easy to hate on it, and it's easy to dismiss people as wanting to be famous, or some bullshit like that. But I think that there are quite healthy and good reasons to want to have an effect on the world. I think the truth is that most people who dedicate their lives to doing intellectual work are motivated by something like the drive for what Machiavelli might have called glory, in a classical sense. You always want to have an effect on the culture. Ultimately, intellectual life is a game to try and shape the culture. So, you know what? I mean, hell yeah, I want to shape the culture. My intellectual drive is something like wanting to be recognized. I would be lying if I said it wasn't. I want to be read. Not to just today, but I want to be read 100 years from now. I wouldn't think so hard, and I wouldn't try so hard to write if I didn't want to be read. And if you want to be read, then why should you not try to really be read over the long haul? I don't think that's superficial or narcissistic. I think that's genuine and meaningful and worthwhile. I actually think it's more noble to be strongly and deeply invested in leaving a mark that matters over the long run than to just want, short-term job security? Like, somehow, if that's all you want, you're a modest, healthy, normal, reasonable person. Fuck that. I did not get into this game to have a paycheck on a regular basis. I mean, obviously I would like that. Everyone would like that. But I only got into academia because I thought that it was the most effective way to sustain a long-term intellectual project that would, or could, if you're lucky and work really hard and the stars are aligned, leave a real impact on the culture for the long term. It's just increasingly clear to me that that is no longer true, that academia is not the way to do that. And academics can do it, but nothing in the contemporary academic script has any correlation with what will be read 100 years from now. That's what I think anyway. It's totally possible that the very idea of long-term intellectual influence is over. It's possible that with the increasing, accelerating disintermediation of all institutions and increasing fragmentation of attention spans and trends of this nature, it's possible that no intellectual will be remembered or read or taken seriously 100 years hence. But it's not obvious that that is necessarily the case. I mean, when I look around right now at the most interesting intellectual work being done, and I think about what is actually going to stick, what is actually going to be passed down through at least the next few generations, or, however many generations there are to Western civilization, who knows? It's just not academics. And I think this makes sense because most academia isn't even really intended to be read, but I am motivated by a drive to attack the culture, for sure, and to shape the culture. And I guess in Western capitalist media society, that is correlated with what people call fame. But I think you can be after things that are really worth seeking and that are noble goals with noble motivations. And the outcomes of that happen to be correlated with, certain other tendencies that perhaps have less than noble motivations. I mean, I don't give a shit about that. I'm not worried about that. Today is my anniversary with my wife. Well, technically it's our dating anniversary. But today, we are now officially 6 years together as a couple, basically. This is all just a kind of long reflection to say that it's increasingly unclear to me why I'm even an academic. I'm thinking about retiring. The truth is, I just have to figure out the logistics of how that would work. It's pretty daunting, but I am thinking about it. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I have to go to celebrate my 6-year anniversary, dating anniversary with my wife.
I just need to see what kind of batteries